Well, hello, friends. It's Crazy Cheap Chick, and I'm back from the grocery store. I had to go to two stores this week. I'm trying to buy less. I'm trying to use up all the stuff in my freezer. A lot of mystery meat in there. And so I kind of want to get back to zero. Also, I'm rotating my pantry to make sure nothing goes bad. But it's been a super busy week. Number one, John Wayne and I celebrated our 42nd wedding anniversary. Can you believe how old John Wayne is getting? I'm like, you've got to be really old to be married that long. And I asked him, I said, I know our first anniversary is like paper, and I think the second is like cotton. I'm like, what is 42nd? And he said, I'm pretty sure it's welder. And I said, no, I'm pretty sure it's Apple Watch. Well, it turns out we were both right. Now, if you stick around all the way to the end, I'm going to tell you the story of how I met John Wayne. And if you stick around to the very end, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures from our 40th wedding anniversary because our kids gave us a surprise anniversary party. And as part of it, John Wayne proposed to me. He said he always regretted that he never got down on one knee and really did a real proposal. And so he rectified that on our 40th, and I'm going to show you a little footage of that too. Anyway, let's talk groceries first. Okay, kids, I spent $58.63 before tax at Aldi today, and I'm starting to remember why I don't like Aldi's, even though some things are much cheaper. I got these club crackers, and they were $2.95. And the problem is they had crackers on sale at Dillon's for $1.99 a package a couple of weeks ago. And I thought, no, I'm trying not to eat processed foods. I'm not eating crackers, so I didn't buy any. So I ended up buying some and spending $1 more. Bananas were 79 cents. That's about what I spend at Dillon's. The sweet potatoes were about $1 each. That's about what I spend at Dillon's. Now, this was less expensive. This bread was $2.19. It's 40 calories per slice, wheat bread. I'm going to try it. Hopefully, I like it. And half and half, this was $2.79. It's a little bit more at Dillon's, not a lot, though. These croissants were $2.99. Now, that is less than Dillon's. I think Dillon's is around $4.99 for croissants. These mini hash brown patties were $2.99. The whole reason I went today is I'm having company coming in, and they're going to arrive here in a couple hours. And I wanted to be able to have stuff for them to make their own breakfast in my little guest suite because I'm not good before 9. And it would be better if they can kind of take care of themselves if I provide it. $2.24 for broccoli. $2.79 for cauliflower. I think it's around $2.99 at Dillon's. Probably about the same on broccoli. This yogurt, I think, was 69 cents for the Friendly Farms, Aldi's brand, and like $1.22 for the Chobani. But I wanted to give this person some options. 97 cents for the corn. I think it's like $1.19 at Dillon's. $1.19 for baby carrots. That's about the same price as Dillon's. I did get these egg rolls. I love these. I have never seen them or anything close to them at Dillon's, and these are really good. $3.59 for 5 of them. 65 cents for cilantro. It's about 89 cents at Dillon's. And this, I've only seen it at Aldi. I love it. They only sell it in the fall or around Christmas. It was $3.99. It's real high calorie. I convinced myself that I could regulate myself and not eat too many crackers and cheese with this. We'll see, because this stuff's so good. I went ahead and got some Greek yogurt, honey. It was $3.75. Now, if I like it, that's way better than what I've been buying at Dillon's, which is the Noosa, and it's $2.19 for, probably the equivalent of 4 of these. Got some sweet and sour stir-fry sauce. I was about out, $2.19. Got this sugar-free vanilla creamer for $2.69. That's less expensive than Dillon's. And $2.99 for this guacamole. The thing is, at Dillon's, I always find guacamole on clearance for a couple of bucks or less for a bigger container. The sour cream was $1.79. That's probably a little bit less expensive than Dillon's unless it's on sale. But this was a good deal, $2.49 for these pitted olives. That's pretty cheap. And then I got these heat and serve sausage links. They were only $1.49. I thought that was pretty good. Pumpkin spice waffles, I think they were $2.49, pretty cheap. And this spinach dip was about the same as Dillon's. It was $3.99. I really just wanted like a ranch dip, and they didn't have that. And that is where my frustration with Aldi's always comes in. There's always something I need they don't sell. And this time I really wanted rice vinegar. They didn't sell it. To Dillon's today, and I spent slightly over $16 pre-tax. I went there because I needed an acid for canning tomatoes. And they sell citric acid, and it comes in little granules. It didn't have any. So I got lemons instead. It'll work just as good. It's just slightly more work. So $2.99 for a bag of lemons. And I needed batteries, and I probably could have got these cheaper somewhere else. These were $4.99 at Dillon's. But I want to keep John Wayne alive. And I asked him the other day when the last time he took his blood pressure was, and he's like, oh, I don't know, a month ago. And I'm like, what? He's like, well, the batteries died. So this is why men who are married live longer. So we're going to get his blood pressure taken today. And then I'm kind of remembering why Aldi's was never my favorite store, even though a lot of things are a little bit less expensive there. Not a lot. But they just don't sell everything I need. And I needed teriyaki sauce, and when I went to Aldi's, they don't sell teriyaki sauce. So I got this at Dillon's for $1.99, and they also didn't have rice vinegar at my Aldi's, and so I had to go to Dillon's to get rice vinegar. Now, for a long time, this was like $2.79, $2.99. Now it's up to $3.29. That's getting kind of high. I did find a couple of clearance items. This Greek-inspired diced chicken, it's really good. I've had it before. It's normally $9.29. It was marked down to $3.95. I got a can of chickpeas for 89 cents. That's a regular price. And I found these snow peas marked down to $1.58. And I think they're normally around $3.99. They're pretty high. And then this quick and easy rice, 90-second rice was $1.50. And so tonight, I know we are going to have butter chicken. Because remember the other day I got this butter chicken simmer sauce for $2.30. Well, I'm going to add this into the stuff I bought today, and we're going to make that butter chicken tonight. It's going to be a really simple, easy meal, and a pretty inexpensive meal, probably about, what is all this together? About 10, 11 bucks, not very much, probably $5.50 each. Hard to eat out for that. I thought I had naan, and I don't, but it still looks pretty good. Wow, doesn't that chili look delicious? John Wayne used some of the cherry tomatoes we bought and some of the green peppers we bought. My chili, I'm putting cheese and sour cream and some Clubhouse crackers. We usually use corn chips, but I don't have any. That's what I'm talking about. Delicious. Nothing wrong with a bowl of spaghetti and a piece of bread with some bruschetta. Used up another package of cherry tomatoes and a pepper. Anybody feel like getting out and eating? No? It's a pretty good meal.
Stick of butter at the bottom of the pan. Of course, heat this and serve.
Well, friends, I told you if you stuck around all the way to the end, I would tell you how I met John Wayne. It's really your classic Hallmark movie script. Now, I've always been kind of amazed that sometimes in life you make a tiny decision that has kind of an oversized impact on your life. Well, that happened to me when I was about 15 years old. And what happened is my high school, that's when I started high school, was sophomore, junior, and seniors. And I went to a huge high school. I mean, there were probably like 2,200 kids in the entire school. And the junior high I had come from, most of those kids went to a school across town. So I lost most of my friends. And so I'm kind of starting all new, didn't have any friends. And I'm an introvert. I like to say I'm an extroverted introvert because I can bring it when I have to, but it exhausts me. Anyway, so here I am starting high school. And also at this time, you got to start picking some of your classes. And I picked French. And that's the decision that had a huge impact on my life. I'll tell you why. The girl that sat in front of me in French class was super popular. She wasn't the most beautiful girl in school. I mean, she's very cute. But she had an oversized personality, just fun, exciting, life of the party, witty. I mean, everyone wanted to be her or be around her. Well, she sat in front of me and she would turn around and talk to me. And this is how introverts get friends. Is an extrovert, like Miss Personality, looks around. Yeah, pick you to be my friend. And so that's how I became Miss Personality's best friend. Well, Miss Personality was a year ahead of me in school. She was a junior. And I became friends with her friends. And one of her friends was a guy we will call Mr. Dreamboat. And I had let's say a huge crush on Mr. Dreamboat, which was not reciprocated. And because of chasing after Mr. Dreamboat, I met his best friend, Mr. John Wayne. Now, here's how it happened. Now, John Wayne tells me this, but I don't remember it, that the first time he saw me was at a high school football game. Now, let me tell you, I was not a cheerleader. I was not popular enough, pretty enough, or talented enough to be a cheerleader because in my high school, the cheerleaders tried out in front of the entire school. So all 2,200 of us went into the gym, sat on bleachers, and any girl brave enough did a routine in front of the entire school, and then the entire school voted. And I can't even do a somersault. So there was no way I was going to even attempt that. But they did have something for us uncoordinated losers, which was pep club. Now, I really, really liked the pep club uniform more than being in pep club. It was super cute. And so most of my memories of pep club, since I'm uncoordinated, is the cheerleaders yelling at me, "Crazy cheap chick, clap in rhythm. Crazy cheap chick, you were supposed to spin. Crazy," it was like me getting yelled at by cheerleaders. So I only lasted 1 year and I was out. So anyway, I was at a football game in pep club and Dreamboat and John Wayne are at the game. And they stopped and talked to me. And John Wayne's like, I want to introduce to her. I want to meet her. And Dreamboat's like, she's too young. And because John Wayne's 2 years older than me. And John Wayne said, I'm going to marry her. So I have no memory of that, but he has a very clear memory of it. Well, then I ran into him a couple of times after that. Miss Personality, being Miss Personality, was the lead of the school play. And I really regret that I never tried out for that because I would have rocked a school play. But I was just too nervous, too anxious, and afraid of embarrassing myself, I guess. So I never tried out for the school play. But all my friends were in the school play. So I went to the school play and I was sitting alone. And in comes Dreamboat and John Wayne, and they sit behind me. And they're bothering me, kicking my chair. And I think they threw something at me and were teasing me. And I was just very annoyed. And we had a conversation, but it reinforced my idea that Mr. John Wayne was annoying. And then after that, I went to a balloon festival, which I went to a balloon festival earlier this week. So that was some reminiscing time of the time I met John Wayne at a balloon festival. All these balloons took off first thing in the morning, and I was there to take pictures. And I was there by myself, and I ran into John Wayne and Dreamboat, and we all went to breakfast together. The only thing is, John Wayne and Dreamboat didn't have any money, and so I ended up buying their breakfast. But that's when I started thinking, well, maybe he's not as bad as I thought. He's no Dreamboat, but he's okay. And then there was a festival. It was called the Foreign Language Festival. It was a fundraiser, and it was put on by all the kids in foreign language. You got the Spanish kids, the practical ones. You got the French kids, who were the popular ones. And you got the kids taking German, who were the super smart ones. Anyway, we all got together and put on this festival, and it was like a week-long event. I remember I got to dress as a queen, and some senior was my prince, and that was pretty exciting. And we had booths that made money. We put on a dinner. I mean, there are all kinds of events that went on during this Foreign Language Festival week. And of course, John Wayne comes to Foreign Language Festival with Dreamboat. And Miss Personality had convinced me to be in the kissing booth with her. Now, before you get your feathers in a fluff, let me remind you that this was about 1980 or 81, and that was closer to 1950 than we are now to when I went to high school. So it was pretty tame, pretty Puritan. There was no shenanigans going on in the kissing booth. There were teachers all over. So, these guys would come up with their ticket, and we'd give them a little peck on the cheek. And believe me, Miss Personality had a way longer line than I did. And here comes John Wayne, and he has one ticket. And I give him his peck. And about 10, 15 minutes later, he comes back. He has another ticket. I give him another peck. And then he comes back with a whole roll of tickets. And he said something like, I don't think I can redeem these all tonight. You're just going to have to go out with me. And, my reaction at this point is still, you're just barely out of, not really annoying me stage. And here you are asking me out. And I think that maybe Dreamboat and Miss Personality and John Wayne and I did go do something. But I kind of went away from it thinking, he's just so conceited and so arrogant and so pushy and so persistent and but he kept up, and he started calling me, and I would talk to him on the phone, and we would talk for hours, and he would show up at my house when I got home from school, and we would sit outside and talk, and I kind of came around a little bit, and eventually we started dating, and it was kind of an on again, off again relationship, like kids. And, but eventually it stuck, and we got married. I was 18 when we got married, and he was 20. Babies. And so that's why I say it's a Hallmark movie, because girl meets boy, girl hates boy, girl likes someone else, girl figures out someone else isn't for her. There's a festival, and eventually they find each other and get married and live happily ever after. Classic Hallmark movie material. Anyway, that's how I met John Wayne. And I hope you have a great week. I hope you find some bargains. I'm going to put some pictures here at the end that show John Wayne and I a couple of times when we were dating, and a couple of pictures from when we got married, since we just celebrated our 42nd wedding anniversary. But we did not have a wedding photographer, so our pictures were just snapshots, not great pictures. And I wish I had better pictures, but I don't. And my main memory of that day is thinking about how horrible my hair looked. I just had horrible hair. And by the way, I was born with red hair. I'm a natural redhead, so you may notice that in the pictures. This is my natural color now, gray, but at one time it was pretty red. And there's still a little bit of red in there, but it's mostly gray. Anyway, have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, open up your eyes. So everybody behind you.
Tickets! Oh
You have lots of tickets.
I told you we should have moved the yard.
How many tickets do you think you bought that night?